Ever watch one of your favourite film scenes and think to yourself, yeah, that never happened? Well, you're not alone. Hello and welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 awesome movie moments that are scientifically impossible. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at films that have both some kind of British connection, whether a director, producer, actor, location shoot and so forth, and somehow err on or overlook the science facts. A spoiler alert is in effect for this list.
Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Number 10, cutting the tether, Gravity. Okay, so our opener's not exactly scientifically impossible, but rather scientifically avoidable. Gravity won plaudits aplenty as a unique cinematic experience in 2013, but did George Clooney's death really have to be so Hollywood? Definitely not. After all kinds of chaos threatens to derail the mission, Clooney's character, Matt Kowalski, makes the heart-stopping decision to save his partner by sacrificing himself.
You're gonna make it, Ryan.
But the entire sequence could have been sidestepped if only Sandra Bullock had tugged on the rope between them. Clooney would have then floated towards her and probably safety. Happily ever after.
Ryan, you're gonna have to learn to let go.
Number 9, Fire and Noise in Space, Moonraker. It's a commonly seen mistake amongst many sci-fi movies, but unfortunately it just wouldn't happen in real life. In one of cinema's most epic space battles, with lasers and explosions aplenty, a floating mass of astronauts engage in all-out warfare. It's hard to know where to begin with the scientific impossibilities here. Firstly, fire and explosions are a completely different deal in a non-oxygen based environment. Secondly, there is no sound in space. And thirdly, lasers become invisible. And that's a real shame because space is where lasers look their coolest. Number 8, being 500 million miles from Earth, Prometheus.
This valley, Captain. Do you think you can put us down there?
In a scene which has since become infamous amongst those with intergalactic insight, Meredith Vickers, played by Charlize Theron, states that they are 500 million miles or over 800 million kilometers from Earth.
But then it wouldn't make sense why I would fly myself 500 million miles from every man on Earth if I wanted to get laid.
However, unless space maths is somehow different, which we don't think it is, this distance would leave them somewhere in the region of Jupiter. Of course, in real life, they would have been closer to trillions of kilometers away. That or their spaceship was going much slower than they thought.
How much longer is this going to take?
I don't know. I'm just a captain.
Either way, Ridley Scott kept this goof in.
That system has a sun.
Number 7, landing a plane on a skyscraper, Resident Evil Afterlife.
But there are others out there, like you. It's just us.
We could get into the specifics of why a zombie apocalypse is pretty unlikely from a scientific standpoint, but instead, it was this awesome moment that grabbed our attention. While there is no denying that Alice is an accomplished pilot, it's just simply not possible to land an aeroplane on top of a bog-standard skyscraper. Down to the speed alone, she would realistically need hundreds of meters to accomplish a safe landing. Come to think of it, this movie is packed full of amazing but impossible stunts. But it's awesome anyway. Number 6, drilling into the Earth's core and surviving the core.
Yes! I think we're gonna swim right out of this one.
Although it's safe to say disaster movies don't often follow the laws of science, this early noughties thriller has enough errors in it to leave even the most patient of scientists fuming. No more so than the sheer fact that the crew survived drilling almost 4,000 miles or 6,000 kilometers into the center of our planet. The deepest humanity has ever managed to reach into the Earth's surface is the Kola Super Deep Borehole, which is a comparatively short 7.6 miles or 12.2 kilometers deep, 9 inches or 22 centimeters wide, and reaches a whopping temperature at its base of around 356 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Spoiler alert, bye-bye life. Number 5, full DNA replacement, Die Another Day.
I like to think of myself as an artist. And this is when I create.
A new Bond. Same old loose grip on science. It's enough to leave biology boffins both shaken and stirred.
It is a painful process, I'm afraid. But all great art is.
To change his entire appearance in order to look like a British mogul, a North Korean villain takes a trip to a gene spa for a full DNA replacement, a service you're unlikely to find on offer on your average high street or centre parks. This is, of course, all kinds of impossible, as not only would it mean having to alter every single cell in the body, but killing off all the patient's bone marrow would most likely have fatal consequences.
Got your attention.
Number 4, the black hole, Interstellar. Matthew McConaughey is certainly a talented actor, whose skill set includes surly cowboy, mud-dwelling loner, guy who finds everything alright, and black hole survivor. His Interstellar character, Joe Cooper, needs to dive into a black hole in order to collect data on gravity. In reality, black holes are surrounded by something called an accretion disk, which can reach potential temperatures that are 11 times hotter than the sun. So, instead of ending up in some sort of peaceful and infinite library setting, he would have entered a swirling pool of painfully hot gas and experienced a condition known to medicine as death.
No! Move!
Number 3, melting in lava, Volcano.
Get out of here!
In this scene, all scientific logic becomes lost amid the harrowing actions of our unfortunate hero. It's certainly true that the emergency services will strive to save people, but what wouldn't happen, on the other hand, is a person melting rather than burning. As our brave protagonist steps into the fiery flow, which, by the way, would be over 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,000 degrees Celsius, his last action before liquefying is to throw someone to safety. Then, as his friends despair with minimal sweat dripping down their faces, he slowly and painfully dissipates into a puddle of impossibility. Yeah, no. Number 2, the uranium bullet, Skyfall. As we've already seen, few film franchises require you to suspend your disbelief quite as freely as Bond does.
007, are you alright?
Just changing carriages.
But even so, sometimes you have to wonder, is this a super spy film or super sci-fi? For all its high-octane drama, the Skyfall opening scene is a scientific train wreck on 2 counts. First, that depleted uranium bullet Bond takes to the shoulder. If it didn't kill him straight away then, having it lodged inside his body should have killed him afterwards. Second, he's shot, again, by Moneypenny before his lifeless body plummets into the waters below. Quite how he didn't spend the rest of the film in a full body cast is anyone's guess. Number 1, averting a nuclear disaster, The Dark Knight Rises. In this awesome movie moment, the notorious Caped Crusader manages to fly a due-to-detonate nuclear bomb out of town and to complete safety with less than 2 minutes to spare. Sadly, this is scientifically impossible to the highest degree.
That's detonation.
Even if his Batmobile could reach speeds of 400 miles per hour or 643 kilometers per hour, it still wouldn't be a safe enough distance away. And even if he broke the land speed record of over 760 miles per hour or 1,223 kilometers per hour, there's no chance he would have also escaped unaffected by the blast. Come on, Batman, we all know it's bollocks. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.